Grand Rising, everyone. I know I'm early by like 12 or 13 minutes, but Peaches is outside waiting on the kids to get dropped off for school from their dad. So I figured I'd hop on here and bullshit with you guys for a little bit before I get started into my document. Today we're going to be doing part 3 of the would you choose them again, or how well do you know them? I don't even remember what I called this. Every one of these documents got a different name. Grand Rising, Eric, Sheb Tate, Alicia, Jadis, Jessica, hello, good morning, everyone. Grand Rising. I hope y'all are doing well today. Hope that it's Friday, guys. Today is the first day of the weekend that allows you to go out and do all the things that you should be doing for yourself. The rest of your week, you normally give all of your time and your efforts to other people, but it's the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are the days that are designated for you to build your dreams. Fucking get up and get after it, guys. And if it's nighttime for you, that just means that tomorrow is your day to get out there and grind. It's Thursday. Well, fuck it. It's Thursday. I'm glad I'm not recording yet. Yeah, it's all fucking same to me. No days off. Let's go. No days off. That's funny. It is Thursday, and today's shoulder day. It damn sure is. Well, fuck me. Let's go. Let's fucking go. That's what we're doing. That's funny. It's fucking funny. Yep. I am excited, man. I fucking, you guys should be chasing your dreams. This idea of fucking doing everything for everyone else and fucking never building your own shit doesn't make sense to me. I'm real big on the weekends are made for working, especially if you're selling your time to somebody else's dream all week. I was just trying to give you guys a little pep talk, get some fucking gumption going in you, some pep in your step. It's fucking Thursday. They like, shut the fuck up, bitch. It ain't Friday yet. I still got to work tomorrow. That's funny. That's fucking funny, man. I'm glad I hadn't hit record yet. It pepped me up. Good shit. Let's go. It's Friday for you in Australia, though, isn't it? Y'all are a day ahead of us, right? Can't wait for the weekend. 30 people in here and only 4 likes, right? Come on, guys. How dare you be here for more than 3 seconds and not hit the like button? Yep. I'm going to give it 10 minutes. I'm going to bullshit with you guys until 8:30 because that's what time I set the live for. Friday soon, like 2 hours to go. Okay, so we're same day still. Had a conversation with my buddy Josh last night, who's a photographer that lives out there that also does work on a podcast that's revolves around guns. And I'm sorry, Josh, if you're in the chat, I don't remember the name of the podcast, so I can't even give you a shout out right now. But he does a lot of content creation and editing and things of that nature. He's the one that took all the pictures of Peaches and I while we were in Bali. And we were talking last night, and he's starting to get digital eye fatigue, tension headaches the same way that I was. And I turned him on to them red light glasses. Guys, that shit actually made my migraine of 3 days go away within like 45 minutes. Wild. How's the homeschooling going? Kids having fun with it? Yeah, she asked them yesterday. She asked Little Miss, what's the best part of the homeschooling process for her? And she says, being around mommy and pops. And I was like, damn. I was like, but I'm not even involved in the homeschool. So why did you choose me? And she's like, because I like that you're here. Made me feel good. I believe out of all of the adults in those kids' lives, I'm probably the most stern. So even though I am the most stern and have the smallest propensity for bullshit, knowing that they still enjoy me and want me to be around means that I'm not fucking them up. Makes me feel good. Yeah, makes me feel good. What's up, Stanzy? You can adjust the blue light filter on your computer. I'm sure you can stick a film or something on it too. Yeah, a film probably wouldn't be a bad idea. We, you guys know that most of you probably know about the Meta thing that they did, where they did a psychological study on people by putting things in their news feed to see how it made them feel. And like they had to go in front of Congress because they were making teenagers depressed. Where's the compatibility questions on your website? It's called the courting questionnaire. It's under the resources tab. But they had to go in front of Congress because they were fucking with the mental health of teenagers, especially teenage girls on Instagram. And a new study has come out that apps and these websites are using blue light differently. And you can program the blue light to react on your phone differently based off of your app or website. And it's doing the same thing. They're seeing if they can fuck with our mental health through the use of blue light. I heard that shit and I was like, there's no way that that's possible. And sure enough, there's been talks about it. So them red light glasses look dorky as fuck. Or the blue light, their red lens glasses look dorky. I feel like Hank Williams Jr. when I wear them, but I be wearing them shits. Anytime I create documents or I'm in front of my computer for more than 15 minutes, I'm wearing them. I can't do it back here because I really feel like a big douchebag, but I want to get either blue light glasses or filters on my screens. I work from home and computers all day, so yes, it's not great for your eyes and such. I hate how they just laugh in our faces. They don't give a fuck about us. We are the product when you think about it. Like, we are the consumers, we're the purchasers, we are the users. It's a drug, right? Yeah, it's wild. It's wild to think about. Guys, we got about 10 more minutes. Seven minutes, and then I'll get into my document. I just didn't want to fucking sit around here drinking water, playing on my phone. This is a much better start of a use of my time and start of my morning, start of my work day. My morning started at 4. I had to get off of Facebook for months. I couldn't take it emotionally. It's wild. It's crazy to think about. My Facebook's pretty locked down. I still have to go through because I'll doom scroll during the daytime on the computer when I'm in between things or if I need a break from what I'm doing. And I have to go through and not interested a whole lot of shit. A lot of my Facebook now is like off-roading, photography, gardening. I still get the occasional political bullshit because other people that I'm cool with post political stuff and I can't unsee it. But I'm trying to combat that by shitting on both political parties and doing my duty to make sure that people hates the government, both sides, that nobody's dick riding a political agenda. I did the questions last night. Not ready over all of them, but her did it. Jennifer, are you okay? Are you having a stroke? Can you retype that? That did not come out as you intended it. I've been in a rabbit hole since 5:30 this morning about nanotechnology, and I know they can make LRADs and other bioweapons more effective through our food. Yes, they can. Should look into what mRNA vaccines are doing to women's fertility and what they're doing with the use of HCG and the way that they've manipulated HCG to affect other fertility things. You guys want to read a really fucked up book that is based off technology that is 100% accurate? There's a book called Life 3.0. That book fucked me up. Like, I was pro cyborg, pro AI. Like, I wanted all of it. I wanted my consciousness to be put into a body that could lift fucking tanks and just never vanish. Like, I was all about that shit. And then I read Life 3.0 and it changed a lot of my, it scared me. It scared me. Yep. On the iPhone, Austin, on the iPhone, if you hit 3 times, bap, 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 it should turn to red so that you can block all blue light. Show you guys. Yep. That's my beautiful wife done up like a witch doctor. The book was called Life 3.0. Yep. Life 3.0. Okay, I went through the questions with my husband that you have posted. I have not read his response yet, but he did answer them. We have not done a check-in before. I love that you guys are doing the thing, though. That's where it's at, guys. That's been the theme this week. Kids just got here. I heard a little voice. I'm going to go give a hug, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to get started, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. My phone didn't turn red. Oh, you know what? I set that up in the settings. There's a way that you can set that up. So I have double tap for Apple Wallet and triple tap to go red. I'm glad I never got the mRNA vaccine during COVID. I knew it was not going to help at all and didn't know what they were putting in it either. Yeah, we didn't either. Peaches and I are vaccine free in that situation. I got old school vaccines from the 80s, but good morning, Chris and crew. They tried so hard to push me to get the jab as a pregnant woman. I know y'all are having a great day. We are having a great, I'm having a great day. I can't speak for everybody in the chat, but I hope y'all are having a great day. What do we got? 8:27. We got 3 minutes, guys, and I'm gonna jump into the document. I popped this shit early because I didn't want to just sit here doing nothing, being bored. This is a better use of my time than doom scrolling. I have 2 documents too, and depending on how fast I get through part 3, I might get into the other one as well. But I have tomorrow's document ready to go, and if I get into it today, that just means that y'all get extra content tomorrow. It takes 10 years to prove an anti-inflammatory over the counter. You can't tell me they did the right thing in 3 months. I lost my job because I wouldn't get the jab. I would try to sue them now. I'm willing to bet you could sue them now, especially after everything that's been coming out about it. Like, I would try. I saw somebody got a $900,000 lawsuit win over something like that. I saw somebody else got all of their military benefits reinstated because they violated his religious covenant or whatever you want to call that. Shit's wild to me, man. Government ain't here for us. Ain't here for us. Neither is the news outlets. You guys remember how much they tried to tell us we were granny killers? Yeah. Motherfuckers walking around with 5-gallon water bottles strapped to their face and shit. No, fuck all that nonsense. Yep. Fucking wild. Haven't watched the news in years. I mean, I stopped watching the news too after they put them death counters up and I realized that all that shit was propaganda. I'm drinking water with Crystal Light in it. I allow myself an energy drink every morning. And then I do at the very end of my energy drink, when there's like this much left, I do a full dropper of methylated blue. And then I add 4 ounces of that whatever special water shit that I've been drinking. And I feel more energetic than normal, which is kind of nice. These AI ads are annoying and so unoriginal. Yeah, sorry guys. If this is going to be a public live stream, I got to try to make some money off of it. So I put the ads on. It looks like a big old bottle of pee. I mean, fuck it. If it's mine, right? It's sterile to me. We can think I'm drinking pee. I'm cool with that. What's up? They're making bagels. Oh. I'm going to let them eat breakfast and lay down for a little bit. Cool. You miss being back here with me, don't you? I miss you. Is that what it is? Yeah. Like being missed. You can come back here. I ain't doing nothing yet. The live wasn't supposed to start until 8:30. I've been bullshitting because I didn't want to doom scroll. Insert my Butamus wife. Yep. Oh, I'm getting a massage. This is about to get inappropriate. No, I'm just kidding. You're funny. That's funny. We love our peach. Your traps are tight. But my whole body is. I just train shoulders. Yep. You're from the Discord. Hello. Everybody's saying hello to you. Hello, everybody. I love you too. Don't start something we can't finish right now. I'm not. I put my face here so people can see me. Okay. Is this too much proximity? I mean, it is if you get any fucking closer to my ear. I mean, I don't want to hear shit about my car's extended warranty. Fuck off. Okay, I'll leave you to it. All right. I love you. I love you too. I hate to watch you go, but I love to watch you walk away. All right, guys. So Grand Rising, let me turn on the cameras and all that recording stuff. Yep, need you guys to act right. If you're gonna be in the kitchen, gotta be quiet, please. Thank you. All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising. Today we are going to be doing part 3 of Would you choose them, or how well do you know your husband? I got to be honest, I don't even remember what I called this document. I've done so much content over the last like 8 days that I'm just going to sit down and read what I've got going. We did part 2 yesterday. Part 2 was released strictly to Patreon. If you guys want to see that, it was spicy in that I was a little animated, and I was kind of on one yesterday. Not going to lie. When I sat down, I was kind of annoyed. When I wrote the document, I was kind of annoyed, and I think it came out a little bit in the document, but I think that yesterday's episode, even though it was Patreon only, was really fucking good. So somebody said I was very, very passionate. I'll take that. I was angsty yesterday. I don't feel as angsty today, but that might not be the case by the time I'm done with this. So I think Grand Rising is just more positive than good morning. It is. So good morning, when you hear the word morning, you think sadness, mourning, you're mourning. And when you think of what sleep is, the death and rebirth, Grand Rising sounds so much better than the morning, right? Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, guys. So when was the last time you did something for the sole purpose of delighting your partner? This is part 1 of the 3-part document. Not because it was their birthday, not because it was Valentine's Day, not because you fucked up and needed to make it right. Just because you know the person well enough to think this thing is going to make them smile. You guys everybody knows my wife. She is into all of the weird woo-woo rocks, shiny glass, any type of trinket that I find that I don't have to purchase makes her super happy. And one day we were out riding dirt bikes. Me and my cousin were in the middle of the woods. And I know that my wife was looking for pine needles to make some sort of something. And I pulled over with my backpack and like I honked my horn and made him stop. And I jumped off and I stripped this little pine tree of all of its needles and just crammed it full of my backpack. When I got home, I was like, I got you something. She's like, what'd you get me? And I opened it up and it was just a backpack full of fucking green pine needles. And she was beside herself. It's small things, right? That day is a core memory for the both of us because I was able to provide something for her that I know that she needed, but I did it while I was having time for myself, and it allowed us to bond. It was a very amazing thing, right? So a lot of long-term relationships become incredibly functional. We get really good at managing life. Bills get paid. Kids get where they need to go. Groceries are bought. Laundry is done. Calendars are coordinated. We talk about appointments, work, school, money, repairs, and what needs to happen next, right? So relationships become incredibly functional. The household is running like a well-oiled machine, but running a household and nurturing a relationship is not the same thing. You can be an excellent teammate and a shitty romantic partner. Excuse me. Lost my spot. You can handle all of the responsibilities and still make your spouse feel emotionally forgotten. This speaks to curiosity, remembering all of the small things, understanding love languages, the apologies languages. It's doing all of the little tiny things that maintain consistency with intimacy throughout your day. Sometimes it's tiny. You stop somewhere and grab a snack without having to ask, or having to ask what they want. You hear a song and you send it to them because you know that they'll like it. What you looking for, hotness? It's not back here. Yeah, it's not back here. Oh, I lost my spot again. You put gas in their car because you noticed it was low. You bring up something stupid that references an inside joke from 15 years ago that only the two of you can laugh at. You make their favorite dinner on a random Tuesday. You text them something filthy in the middle of the day because you know that it will make their day at work. You can take the kids out for a couple of hours because you know that your partner desperately needs silence. These are the small things that you should just, this is how we maintain intimacy, right? You set something up that they've been wanting to do and don't make them plan the entire thing. This is not about huge gestures. If you guys think about this, this is more about collecting evidence and then showing that evidence to the court. Some of you are really good at keeping the score when it comes to the bad shit, so I know you're capable of finding evidence if you really want to. So think of it as evidence. Evidence that your partner still occupies some sort of space in your internal sphere. We think that romance has to be expensive, dramatic, creative, or Instagram worthy. It doesn't. Most people don't need a helicopter ride over Tuscany. It's just not a thing. They want to feel important and remembered and seen. And the reason this matters so much is because the small moments build the emotional climate of the relationship. I've said over and over again, it's consistency. It's the small things over a lifetime, not the big things some of the time, right? If you are living for the really big grand gestures and you go on a vacation once a year, what about the other 50 weeks or 51 weeks of the year or 52 weeks minus the weekend? Because sometimes that's all you can get away for. What are you doing to fill those moments? The Gottmans, you guys know I'm a big fan of the Gottman Institute. They talk about bids for connections. A bid can be really small. It could be look at that car. It could be look at this bird, whatever. The Gottmans in their books tell you that one of the greatest predictors of divorce is the way partners respond to a bid for connection. If we're driving somewhere and Peaches tries to have a conversation and I'm listening to the radio and I'm singing over her talking, there's no connection there. She realizes that I'm straight ignoring her because I don't want to hear her talk. If we're driving and she's like, look at that thing, there's an Arby's coming up, or we haven't had Sonic forever, and we pull over and get Sonic and have a conversation about their French fries or whatever. Like, what kind of drink did you get? I don't know. What kind of drink did you get? Da, 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 da. Like, there's a connection happening right now. Life doesn't have to just be go, right? Turning towards those bids will determine if your marriage fails or succeed. Like I said, sometimes you're the one who's making the bid. And when your partner doesn't acknowledge that bid, you feel shitty about it. Like, it doesn't feel good when we feel ignored. You initiate connection because you were the one paying attention, and that shit matters. It says you didn't have to ask or make me try to make me care about this thing. This is about knowing somebody well enough that occasionally you can anticipate what will bring them joy. And there's also a difference between doing something your partner enjoys and doing something you enjoy while pretending it's for them. I planned us a weekend away. Great. Where? At the place that you've wanted to go for 3 years. We're going out tonight to the restaurant that you love. I bought you something. These are all great things. It's something that you wanted them to have, right? But be honest. Did you choose it because they love it or because you would? Real thoughtfulness requires getting outside of yourself. Maybe your partner hates surprises, and if that's the case, surprising them has nothing to do with them. It's more about you. Maybe your spouse doesn't want expensive gifts. Maybe they'd rather have an afternoon where nobody needs anything from them. Maybe they don't care about flowers. Maybe they do. Maybe what delights them is hearing, get dressed. I have a night planned. This is how I want you to dress. This is what I want you to do. Maybe it's we're going to dinner, put your shoes on, right? It could be taking a decision off of their plate. And in some cases, for people who are really super fucking busy all the time and decision fatigued, that's a really big deal. Shout out to Nicole Lee 1204 for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for that. Maybe it's, I know you've wanted to see your friends, so I already made I got the kids tonight, or I'll get a sitter so that we can go do that thing. You're not asking what would make me feel loved. You're asking what would make this specific human being here feel seen, noticed, appreciated, whatever. It requires you to pay attention. It requires a lot of attention. And hang on, he's making noise and it's distracting the shit out of me. This stops when people think that they already got their person. We've made content about continuously chasing, fawning, trying to get to win your person again. Just because you have them, because you've already said I do. Maybe you're just dating. Maybe you're getting engaged. Maybe you're married. If you're married, you've said yes at least 3 times to your person. At that point, it's safe to say that you've got them. Like, this is what's happening now. It doesn't mean that you get to step back and just hope that everything continues to run. You should still be fawning and chasing and doing the thing. This is one of those small consistencies that keeps intimacy alive throughout your life. Dating has effort. Marriage has logistics. It's really fucked up when you think about it, but that's how most people operate within their marriage. Everything becomes about the honey-do list. It becomes about making sure that life is functioning as optimally as possible so that you can do all the things that you want to do, but eventually the things that you want to do is touch your phone instead of your person, right? When you were courting them, when you were trying to get their attention, you paid attention. You did all the things, like you treated it like a job interview. You put your best foot forward. You took care of your health, your hygiene. Maybe you were doing a self-help, self-growth journey, whatever. You were trying to become something that made somebody else see the value in you, right? I know you guys remember what it felt like to date your person, right? I know you know what that felt like. That's the honeymoon phase that people lose in the course of their relationship, that they see the relationship that Peaches and I have and go, oh my God, I want that again. Like, you know what that felt like. You knew the effort that it took to get there. So why aren't you putting the effort in now? And why aren't they? You guys were willing to do it at one point. At one point, you looked across the couch at that person that you were watching TV with and said, I'm going to do everything I can to make this person love me so that we can spend the rest of our life together. Where did that go? Why did that stop? I don't want to hear it's because we have kids now and the job is hard. You may not have had kids then, but you had different stresses and you overcame that shit and you prioritized your person. You prioritized the relationship. You built this thing with this person. Why have you stopped putting the effort in? Somewhere along the lines, we decided that commitment means that we don't have to continue courting the person that we committed to. It actually makes no sense to me. If anything, I think the stakes are higher now. Once you have determined that you guys are going to spend the rest of your life together, if this is going to be what we do for the rest of our life, the stakes are absolutely higher because now you are committed to having an existence with somebody else. And the commitment and the way that you conduct yourself with that commitment is going to determine the quality of your existence. The stakes are absolutely fucking higher now. So maybe occasionally we should actually act like we're glad to see them, right? Somebody in the chat said, in my opinion, the honeymoon phase is never over if you found the right person. I've been with my hubby for going on 3 years and we're still chasing each other. And if that's true, then in 10 years, you'll still be doing the same thing. I believe that. When we first started making podcast content, people were so like fixated on how long we were together because of the way that we treat each other. This has been going on 5 years now. So like people don't ask that shit anymore. And it's not because they don't see the way that we love each other. It's because we have a 5-year-old podcast. They know now that this is possible. And real shit, I think that to the people who have miserable marriages, it's why they hate us so much. Because our joy and our fulfillment and the way that we live our lives is reflecting their misery back in their face, and they're not willing to do anything about it. Anyways, you don't have to constantly entertain your spouse. Life is mundane sometimes, and that's okay. Sometimes we need our downtime. Sometimes we need some alone time. It'd be like that. There will be seasons in your life where survival is actually a victory, right? Babies are screaming, money is tight, someone's sick, work is crushing you, you're exhausted. In those big extremes, all of the small deposits that you've put into the bank account of love that you've got with your person adds the fuck up. That's your safety deposit, right? Like, they matter the most then. Because delight interrupts the machinery of life long enough to remind two people, yeah, it's you and me here. This is hard right now, but we've already come through so much. We'll get through this. Life is good. Let's go, right? And it's really important that you pay attention to whether or not your partner receives your attempts when you make them, because people can stop trying when every attempt is criticized. You bring home their favorite food, I'm trying to lose weight. You plan a date night, I'm tired. You touch them affectionately, what do you want? You buy them something small, why are you wasting money? Again, your partner is not required to love everything that you do. Sometimes you are absolutely going to miss the mark. It is going to happen. How they receive that missed mark is going to determine whether you continue. And it's the same thing if they've missed and you treat them poorly over it. Eventually, they're going to quit trying, guys. This is, you should know better. Nonsense. Nonsense, poopy pants. If someone repeatedly reaches towards you and gets their hand slapped, eventually they're not going to reach anymore because their hand stings. Or they will remember every time you've slapped their hand, so why try? What you doing in there? All right. Then, after we've smacked their hand a whole bunch of times, we want to act shocked when they stop trying. Things have gotten boring now. Now we're blaming them because our shit's gotten boring because we've slapped their hand so many fucking times. Both people have responsibilities here. Initiate and receive. Notice the effort. Let someone love you imperfectly. Let someone love you imperfectly. And if they miss, help them understand you better instead of making them regret trying. Sometimes I pause for effect. That was one of those times. It's all perspective. You can be mad. I typoed there. You can be mad that they missed or happy knowing that your partner thought enough about your happiness when they didn't have to. They didn't gain anything. They weren't checking off a responsibility. They weren't trying to stop a fight. They simply saw something and thought of you. That feeling is really hard to replace. It's really fucking hard to replace. And when that feeling is gone and you're no longer being poured into, you're going to fucking notice it. This is fondness. This is admiration. This is friendship, right? This is the relationship that has built the foundation of the relationship that you're in. And that friendship matters because at some point you need to genuinely like each other. You need inside jokes, shared history. You need playtime. You need moments where you make each other laugh. Moments where one person thinks no one else would understand why this is funny, but you will. That's the good shit. That's the things that make you guys laugh until there's tears coming out of your eyes and somebody farts and somebody else snorts because somebody farted. And now you're laughing even harder. And now you're laughing so hard that there's no sound coming out. And the only thing that you're trying to do is get oxygen, but you can't fucking breathe because damn it, this is fucking hysterical. Those are the moments when you know that this is my person. And that whole this is my person is not about ownership, guys. It's recognition. It's knowing that in this moment, I would rather be nowhere else. I want nothing more than what I've got right now. This is everything. One and 8 billion people chose to be with you in that moment. Right? And speaking out of 8 billion people, your person can go to a gas station and pick up your favorite snack and drink and come home and just be like, here you go. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, somebody knows you well enough to know to grab pine needles off of a tree to bring them home for whatever it was that you were trying to make at that time. We forget how vast the universe is and how complex everything is. And though we see everything from our experience, having somebody else seeing you enough to know the things that's going to bring you joy. And they do it because they want to see you smile. Guys, don't underestimate that. Don't take it for granted. So ask yourself when the last time was. When was the last time you did something unnecessary for your partner? Something with no value, no expectation, something designed specifically to bring a little bit of joy to their day. If you can't remember, don't let that turn into guilt. It's just simply time to make a change. It's time to do something that you haven't yet. I've told you guys this in the past. I'm going to tell you again. I have a hard time remembering things because I've been hit in the head a lot. I have a dedicated email that I set up that I have subscribed to all of Peach's favorite things, her favorite chocolates, her favorite clothes, edible arrangements, flowers. And when I get emails about deals that come through, If I'm doing something that gives me 5 minutes to read the email, I will buy her something, or I will make a mental note like, hey, it's been 6 months since she's got her favorite chocolate, which is fucking retarded expensive, but it makes her happy when we're doing a thing. We've gone through this, guys. Those simple things take absolutely nothing. And if you're shopping for deals, you're saving money while you're doing it. Like, this is a really easy thing to do for your person. And I'm willing to bet if you guys looked hard enough, you could find subscription services that your partner fucking digs, and every month they could just get a box in the mail. It wouldn't be hard. Maybe you're waiting for them to do it first. Maybe you've become so focused on what you aren't receiving that you stopped asking what you're contributing. Whatever it is, pay attention. Relationships need difficult conversations, boundaries, accountability, repair, and conflict skills. They also need moments that make all of that other bullshit worth it. Sometimes love needs to be heavy. Sometimes it needs to hold somebody through their worst session of life. Sometimes love needs to walk into the house with their favorite drink and say, I saw this and I thought of you. Do not get so busy building a life together that you forget to enjoy the person that you are building it with. It's the first part of the document. Oh no. Oh, my water's down here. Almost had a panic attack. Oh, didn't have a drink. That's a lie. Panic attack is not what I thought. I was like, oh no. Not a panic attack. 7-Eleven has become a staple in my marriage. We have one that's super close to us, so we're always getting each other snacks and drinks. Love that. Used to make notes throughout the year of things my partner would mention they wanted randomly. I'd get them throughout the year, and they'd go on sale. That's what's up. I mean, they're still getting it. It doesn't matter if you save money or not. I have a note in my phone that I started when my husband and I were courting. Guys, you want to do something that'll make your woman melt, and I don't care how bad it is, write them poetry. I don't care if it's garbage. I don't care if you can't rhyme. I don't care if you can't write and spell. I don't care what your grammar looks like or how good your penmanship is. Knowing that you sat down and tried to put effort into making something rhyme and syllables do the thing and all of that, and that's not normally who you are, will absolutely make your woman fucking melt. Yep. This is not relevant to what we're talking about. I had some shadow work last night and realized that I did deserve to be fired, and I'm thankful I was. It saved my marriage. Hell yeah. That's what's up. All right, next part of this document is called, Does Knowing Your Partner Actually Change the Way That You Treat Them? Holy shit. Thanks. Shout out to the 90 people who are vibing with me on a Thursday. Guys, it's Thursday. I know that now. It's prime comedy right there. Throwback to before I was hitting record. Because knowing somebody doesn't mean shit if you don't do anything with the information that you've collected. You know your partner hates being criticized in front of other people, but you still correct them at dinner. You know yelling shuts them down, but you keep raising your voice and then complain that they won't communicate. You know being late makes them anxious, and you're still 20 minutes late because you didn't think it's a big deal. You know affection matters to them, but you barely touch them unless you're trying to have sex. You know that they need a little time to decompress when they get home, but you hit them with 12 problems before they've set their shit down. You know that they struggle with their body, but you keep making jokes about their weight. You know it really hurts them, and you continue to do it anyways. You know them. You know what makes them tick. You push that button. You rip that scab off. Then you want to be like, well, I was just playing. I didn't mean it. You knew what the fuck you were doing. And then you made the choice to do it anyways for whatever your reason is. When I wrote this part of the document, this entire conversation almost switched from what we're doing in this series to having an entire conversation about emotional manipulation. And if you listen to what I typed out as I talk about this, you're going to see how hard it was for me to wind that back. I actually think that it's still a very big underlying part of this section of the document, but so we love talking about communication. Communication changes everything, but communication isn't about explaining ourselves better. Just tell your partner what you need. Okay, well, what then? What happens when you tell them? What now? What happens after they tell you? Because there comes a point when your partner has communicated everything very fucking clear. They've told you probably more than once. This is where I've told you 50 fucking times comes into play. They've said things like, I don't like it when you talk to me like that. Please don't bring that up in front of other people. I need more affection that is not sexual. When you disappear during an argument, I don't know whether you're coming back. When you spend that much without talking to me, it feels like we're not a team. When I'm telling you something's difficult, I don't always want you to fix it. I need you to stop joking about that. It actually hurts me. How many times does somebody have to communicate the same thing before you stop blaming a lack of communication? Eventually, it becomes a behavioral problem. You know that you heard them. You may not have been listening in the moment. You might have been defensive. You could have been feeling whatever you were feeling and not wanting to acknowledge it, but you fucking heard them. You understood. You just didn't think that their experience mattered enough to adjust your behavior. Sometimes people don't believe your boundaries. Sometimes they don't care about your wants and desires. Sometimes they believe that they matter more than your wants. And I want to be careful here because knowing your partner does not mean organizing your entire life around their triggers. Your partner doesn't get to say, I have abandonment issues, therefore you can never spend time without me. They don't get to say conflict makes me uncomfortable, therefore you can never confront me. They don't get to say I get jealous, therefore you can't have friends. They don't get to say your boundaries hurt my feelings, therefore you need to remove it. Understanding someone is not obedience. Pause for effect. Then repeat for effect. Narrate for more effect. Understanding someone isn't obedience. Consideration is not submission. You being considerate and trying to uphold boundaries and live respectful and not open wounds that are slowly healing has nothing to do with control. It is 100% about consideration and operating from a place of love. There's a huge difference between I know this about you, therefore I must do whatever it takes to make you comfortable, and I know this about you, therefore I will take you into consideration when I make choices. One is respect, one is control. Your partner's experience should absolutely have influence on you. Your partner's experiences should absolutely have an influence on you. Guys, the Gottmans talk about accepting influence as well. It's in the context of conflict and decision making. Basic ideas. The basic idea matters far beyond an argument. It's about, can the person that you've chosen to build a life with actually affect the way that you move through life? Can their perspective change your approach? Can their pain make you reconsider something? Can their needs matter? Can their needs matter even when you don't personally understand them? All of that should affect your decisions in life. All of it, right? Thought I heard Peaches yelling outside. It was the kids in the living room. However, sometimes people refuse to change their behavior unless we agree that our partner should be bothered by it. And what I mean by that is like, we have to somehow agree that their experience sucked. Otherwise, they don't get a say, right? So people say things like, I don't see why this is such a big deal. Maybe you don't. It is still a big deal to your person. You don't have to personally experience something the same way that somebody else does in order to take it seriously, guys. Where's your compassion, your empathy? Where's your understanding? Why is life about you? We are meant to serve each other. Marriage is submission and servitude. That's the whole point of living in this existence together. And when you make everything about you, your experience, your wants, your needs, your desires, and you remove your partners, you will eventually be living alone in your marriage. Why would you even get married at that point? If your partner says, when you make jokes about me in front of your friends, I feel humiliated, you should never say, well, I wouldn't care if you did it to me. That's great. Who gives a fuck if you wouldn't care if they did it to you? They aren't you. They're telling you that what you just did made them feel fucked up, and it doesn't matter if you would be okay with it or not. This is real shit. This is narcissistic tendencies, guys. This is the epitome of me. I like that. The epit of me. That's so much better, especially for what I'm about to say. Of me, my wants, my loves, my desires. You need to fall in line because my happiness matters more than everything else. That was a good Freudian slip. The epit of me. This is where people accidentally make themselves the standard for how everyone else in their life is allowed to feel. I wouldn't be upset about that. I don't need that much affection. I don't care if you're late. I don't need reassurance. I wouldn't take that personally. Who gives a shit? So I'm supposed to only care about the way that you would feel when you are clearly not caring about what I'm going through right now? Yeah, fuck that. That would work if you were in a relationship with yourself, right? But you ain't. You decided to be in a relationship with another human being, and their wants, desires, and needs should fucking matter. Their experiences, their sensitivities, their needs, histories, values, priorities, all of that matters. If you guys remember what we talked about in part 2, for those of you who are on Patreon that caught that document, this is the question of how does your person experience you in the relationship? If you guys aren't a member of Patreon and you missed that document, I would go join just for the month to be able to watch that episode. I think it was that good. And I may release it one day. I don't know. Right now, the answer is that's not going to happen because I was pretty angsty. And that doesn't need to be public sometimes. Knowing them means learning those differences. Loving them means those differences occasionally affect how you behave. Imagine your partner tells you early in the relationship, when we are fighting, please don't threaten the relationship. My last partner constantly did that to me, and it really fucks with my head. You understand. They have given you access to something that is a trauma or a trigger for them, and this is data that can be used to really improve your life. But instead, you get into an argument and you say, maybe we shouldn't be together. Think about that for a minute, guys. They gave you a level of access to them. They made themselves vulnerable. They told you something that really affects them. And the first time there's conflict, you fucking use it against them to hurt them. If you guys find yourselves in relationships with people like this, the moment that happens, leave. If you have given somebody a raw version of yourself and you have told them the things that bother you and they weaponize it, I don't care if they're angry, drunk, on meth, I don't give a fuck. That's who they are. Eventually, things are going to get worse and you won't be able to say, I didn't see this coming. You absolutely saw it coming and you made a choice to stay. You don't get to play the victim anymore because the moment you made the decision to stay after they did this, you made that choice. Everything that comes after that is because of that decision you made. Then you want to try to defend yourself. I was angry. I didn't mean it. I never actually left. You knew exactly what you did. You knew what it was going to do, and you made a decision to do it anyways. Guys, that's the definition of malicious intent. That's what we talk about on the podcast all the time. And that's not the same thing as like accidentally stepping on somebody's foot. If your partner tells you, when I bring something to you and you immediately get defensive, I end up regret saying something, right? They tell you that, and then you get into defensive and you try to over-explain or push your point or try to show why your version of this matters more than theirs. Do you think they're going to come back to you again? You just did what they were bringing to you. Then let's say some time goes by, something's really bothering them. They actually find the I versus you statements. They go above and beyond working on their communication to do it again, and they bring something to you. And they do it in all of the right communication styles, and you still spend 45 minutes being talked down to, explaining how your version doesn't matter, yada, yada, yada. Why would you ever go back to that person and talk to them again? What's the point? You just, after all these conversations, you just shown me that no matter how much work I do on me to try to make this relationship work, I'm still the fucking problem. Eventually, they will 100% stop bringing things to you. Then when you say we never communicate, yeah, no shit. No shit. You've shown me that you are not a safe person to talk to. You have trained your person to believe that communication with you is not worth the cost. And there is a cost there. That doesn't mean that they've completely let you off the hook either. Adults are responsible for continuing to advocate for themselves, set boundaries, and communicate. But we also have to own the environment that our behavior creates. We train our person. We react to situations. We become volatile. We do the same thing over and over and over for years. And then one day we wake up and realize that this isn't what we want. How we got here seems fucking insane. And there's nothing that can be done about it because both of you are so set in your fucking ways that you can't even talk to each other. The same thing, though, can happen on a positive, right? This is the small, consistent actions that put money into the bank account of your love. If you know your partner lights up when you greet them affectionately, you should use that information. Greet them affectionately every single day. I don't give a fuck how bad your day is. That little bit of I know you enjoy this goes a long fucking way, guys. If you knew your husband feels respected when you acknowledge how hard he's working, why wouldn't you just acknowledge it? If you knew your wife feels loved when you put your phone down and give her your undivided attention, when she says, hey, babe, why wouldn't you just put the phone down? Is it really more important than the person that you said you want to spend the rest of your life with? The what is what makes all of this meaningful, right? It's the knowing that makes all of this a thing. This isn't about keeping a spreadsheet of your spouse's preferences and perfectly executing every request. You are going to forget things. You're going to get irritated. You're going to fall back into old habits. Sometimes their request is going to be unreasonable. Sometimes you're not going to what they want. It happens. That's normal. And you guys may end up in gridlock over that thing because they may really want something and you may really not. And this is one of those things where concession is going to impact one person no matter what. So if they concede and stop asking, they never get the thing that they really wanted. And if you concede and give them that thing, it's going to impact your life. So that's a conversation all on its own. I'm going to move on. You're going to get irritated. You're going to fall back in old habits. Sometimes their request is not reasonable. Sometimes you're going to disagree. Sometimes what they want conflicts with something that's important to you. That's normal. The issue is willingness. When your partner tells you something about their experience, does that information enter your decision-making process? If it doesn't, and you're a man, you do not get to call yourself a leader. You don't get to call yourself the man of the house. You are not even lower tier management material at that point. If do you listen, nod, say I understand, and continue doing whatever the hell you were doing or going to do anyways? Again, says a whole lot about your marriage. Eventually, I understand becomes insulting when it's never followed by action. This also exposes, this is going to expose you guys on all of the things that you don't want to admit about yourselves. Sometimes we know exactly how to treat our person better, and we choose otherwise because we matter more in the moment. Our want, our desire, how we feel, the thing that's going to bring us a dopamine hit. It says a lot about who you are as a person. Man, woman, child, doesn't matter. Parent, it says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about the way that you view the world. It says a lot about the way that you conduct yourself for other people, show up for them, or if you fail to do so. Sometimes we just don't want to inconvenience ourselves. Just the way it is. Sometimes our comfort matters more to us in the moment than the person that's sitting across the couch from us. We know, but changing requires effort. Familiarity makes us lazy. We start thinking they know I love them. Okay, but do they experience it? Would they know, not believe, know that you love them if you are no longer able to tell them? Pause for effect. Because love that only exists inside of your head is not doing much for the person that has chosen to stand beside you. Your intent matters, but your behavior is everything. Knowing your partner is not about simply answering questions about them. It's allowing what you know about them to influence how you show up and choose to love them. Got a journal question for you guys. Somebody can put it in the chat. What have they taught me about themselves that I refuse to act on? What have they taught me about themselves that I refuse to act on? It's the end of part 2. So I want you guys to journal that. What have they taught me about themselves that I refuse to act on? Yep, that was the question. Tegan, thank you. I always count on Tegan to fucking get these things in here. That's the end of part 2 of the document. I want you guys to really journal about that. Don't sleep on that question, because it's going to open up a whole lot of things about yourself, because you knowing something and refusing to take action, the why under you haven't taken the action is going to tell you a lot about who you are. Is it because it's uncomfortable? Is it because it's going to stress you out financially? Is it because you're insecure? You're jealous? You're afraid you're going to lose them? You're afraid of abandonment? Whatever. The underlying of that is going to teach you a whole lot about yourself. Part 3. What kind of relationship are you teaching your partner to have with you? I don't mean the relationship you want or what you say you want. What kind of relationship are you teaching your partner to have with you? Guys, everybody wants honesty, communication, affection, sex, trust, playfulness, vulnerability. Connection, respect, compatibility. Like, we all want to feel all of the good feelings. What? What do you want? Stop. What do you want? Okay, well, there she is. Okay. What does being in a relationship with you actually reward? What does that do for them? What value and joy and happiness are you actually bringing to your person? Because relationships are an organic, living thing that both of you have built up the moment you decided you were going to do this together. People learn, they evolve. If something consistently creates a good outcome, we're more likely to do it again. If something consistently creates pain, conflict, embarrassment, rejection, or exhaustion, eventually we start avoiding it. This is not complicated psychology, guys. This is basic humanity. Touch a hot stove enough times and eventually you stop touching the fucking stove. We use that analogy all the time because it really works. Couples rarely think about their relationship in this way, though. We look at our partner and say they stopped doing whatever it was, but we never really take the time to ask why they stopped doing. It's easier to make an accusation, to get defensive, to hurt, and to throw shade versus trying to understand the underlying whatever. So things like my husband doesn't open up to me, right? That's a very, we hear that all the time. We get emails all the time. How do I get my husband to open up to me? How do I get my husband to talk to me? Why can't he be vulnerable the way that you are with your wife? The question to that is real fucking simple. What happened when he did that thing? Whatever it was that you were trying to get him to give you, what happened? Because at one point, I'm willing to bet he did. And whatever your response was determined whether or not he was willing to do that thing again. So did you listen? Or did you immediately tell him what needed to be done? Did you respect what he shared, or did you come back during an argument 6 months later and throw it in his face? Did his vulnerability make you feel closer to him, or did you lose respect for him because you weren't used to seeing that man in that position? Pause for effect, because that one matters. That one really fucking matters. Maybe he needs to learn how to communicate better, right? Absolutely. We all do. Even Peaches and I still have room for growth with our communication. That's one of those things that you will never stop stacking your bricks on. Like every little bit of growth there, even if it's 0.5% is huge. But maybe he also learned something from you, right? And this can go to the other side of things. Maybe my wife no longer initiates sex anymore. Well, what happened when she did? Did you make her feel desired? Did you notice the courage that it took for her to put herself out there if she's had babies, or if she's gained some weight, or maybe she's lost some weight? Because there's a lot of insecurities for people who are too thin as well, right? Like this isn't about body shaming one direction or another. It's just about understanding that we're all insecure to a degree. Or did she get rejected harshly enough times that eventually she decided, fuck it, he can initiate? I'm going to go back. I want to touch on that. Did you make her feel desired when she initiated? Everybody's got a sexy time ritual. Your cleanup time afterwards, the aftercare, what leads into it. If you put down a fucking tarp, whatever, right? I don't know. Everybody's got their thing. If your wife initiates with you and you get a couple kisses, you get hard and you're like, grab the tarp. Man, that's sexy right there. That fucking does it for me. I'm ready to go. It's not going to make it's not going to make your woman feel desired, right? Are you looking at her body and telling her she's beautiful and tracing her curves with your fingers and like making her feel desirable? That shit really matters. We are very physical creatures, men. Women are very emotional creatures. And when you can understand that and you can play into that, and it's not playing into it, it's being present. It's understanding what it is that they need and delivering that, because you know your person and you're putting yourself secondary to those moments. They'll do the same thing. You guys are going to end up having a much better existence because of that. So again, repeated experiences shape behavior. My partner never tells me what's wrong until they explode. Okay, well, what happened the first 5 times that they brought it up calmly? Did anything change? Did you listen? Or did you dismiss it because they weren't angry enough yet? Sometimes we teach people that the only way to get their attention is to scream. Then we complain about the yelling. This is where we need to look at patterns, guys. It's just all there is to that. I have sticky notes everywhere from Chris and Peach. Love that. They make waterproof blankets. From this day forward, they will be referred to as tarps. We have one. And I refuse to call it a tarp. Although that is pretty funny. I should have thought of that before this document, because that would have been a private joke and it would have been great. I lost my part. Sometimes we teach people. Okay, I read that. So I said earlier that a relationship is its own organic living thing. Over the course of the relationship, it develops its own rules and expectations. A lot of these rules and expectations are not, they're not consciously discussed, right? They are just things that we have learned, the data that we've collected, that we've stored, filed, and said, this is a thing, and that's all there is to it. And you've both done it. And sometimes you guys have different perspectives and understandings of that thing. So you're viewing it from completely different angles. And it could be a frustration for one and a greatness for the other, or a gratitude, right? It's just something to think about. These rules are never agreed to. They just naturally occur. They get created through experience. Maybe a rule in your marriage has become, don't bring up money because it always turns into a fight. Maybe it's, don't tell her you're struggling because she'll panic. Don't ask him for help because he'll make you feel guilty. Don't initiate affection unless you're prepared for it to become sexual. Don't disagree in public. Don't bring up his family. Don't talk about her drinking. It's easier to keep the peace than to tell the truth. These rules do not just appear overnight or magically happen. These things are taught. This is the training that we talk about all the time. You train your person in your marriage. Both people created them. You both agreed to them to some degree. Whether, no matter how it played out, if this is a rule in your marriage, this has become a silent agreement. This isn't another exercise in figuring out who fucked up the relationship first, guys. Maybe your partner learned to withdraw because you became defensive. Then their withdrawal made you pursue harder. Your pursuit made them withdraw more. Their withdrawal made you feel abandoned. Your anxiety made you push harder. And now you're both standing there convinced that the other person is the problem. It's not how it works. You guys have a fucked up relationship. You're both in that relationship. You're both responsible for the outcome. This is where attachment work and relationship work overlaps. One person pursues, one withdraws. One pursuit creates more withdrawal. One withdrawal creates more pursuit. Eventually, neither person is responding to what they actually want. They're responding to the pattern that's taking place. The pursuer usually wants connection. The withdrawer usually wants the conflict to stop. But the way that the person tries to get what they want only produces more of what they don't want. We can unintentionally train the exact behavior that we hate. You want honesty, but your rejection punishes your partner for being honest. You want vulnerability, but you ridicule it as weakness. You want affection, but every touch turns into an expectation for sex and it disgusts you. You want your partner to make decisions, but then you criticize every decision that they make because they did it differently than you would. Then they eventually stop. And we go, see, this is who they are. And maybe that's the case, guys. Maybe that is who they are. I don't fucking know. I don't know you guys. Like, literally, don't know you from a hole in the wall. Maybe that is exactly who your person is. And if it is, you chose them. And whether you want to admit it or not, when you woke up today and you didn't leave, you chose them again. So this is the life that you're choosing. Doesn't mean that you need to leave your person. If you woke up today and chose not to have a conversation about all the things that make you unhappy in your relationship, you're choosing that too. This is why you see people go through a crazy fucking change after divorce. Your partner may behave differently in different relationships. They could be funny with their friends, but serious around you. Maybe they talk openly with someone else, but you get one-word answers. Maybe they're affectionate with the kids, but guarded with you. Our first instinct might be, why don't I get that version of you? And that's a great fucking question. But ask, what happened when that version showed up around you? You don't get to downplay those things and be ugly about it and then be jealous that other people are getting a version of your person that you're not getting. That doesn't mean that every behavior your partner has is your responsibility either. And it's important to recognize. Adults have to own their choices. If someone lies, cheats, screams, manipulates, abuses, stonewalls, or refuses to communicate, they are responsible for that behavior. They made the choice to do the thing. Understanding the relationship dynamic does not remove the individual accountability, but individual accountability does not erase the dynamic of the relationship either. Both can be true. Your partner can own what they do. You can own what you contribute as well, and then you can recognize the environment that's been developed between you. If patterns can be taught, they can be untaught. You can create a different experience. Maybe the next time your partner brings up something difficult, you just don't defend yourself. Maybe the next time they admit a mistake, you deal with the mistake without attacking their character. Maybe the next time they initiate affection and you're not interested in sex, you still receive the affection. And then you do it again and again, and you start to establish new behavioral patterns, and you start to show them that you are someone who is capable of change. Because one good conversation does not erase 10 years of fucked up behavior. It does not change patterns. It does not remove the evidence. And people need evidence. They need to feel the difference, not just hear about what you're going to do one day. If somebody has spent years learning that conflict with you becomes explosive, they're not suddenly going to relax because you handled something different Tuesday. Their nervous system has an entire life that you've built together. The organic relationship that is doing its thing has its own nervous system as well, and they are reacting to all of this time that you have spent doing the same thing. They recognize the patterns and they brace for impact. Consistency creates trust. That trust could be a bad thing as well. I trust they're not going to handle this well. I trust they're going to scream. I trust we're not going to have a good night. That's still trust. This is why change and growth journeys are so fucking hard when you're with someone else. Because they're waiting to see if it's real, which means you have to keep going, even when they don't believe in you. Healthy relationships require two willing participants, but give change enough consistency and time to become believable. And then look, I'm going to come back to that divorce comment. I'm hung up on something that I thought about that I didn't put in the document that I really want to get into. So I'm coming back to that, guys. I'm almost done though. So I'm just going to read through the rest of this. And then we're going to, I'm almost done with this. I only have a page left. Look at the patterns that you've helped create without turning it into shame. Shame says, I'm a terrible husband. Accountability says, I've made honesty harder in this relationship and I need to change that. Shame says, I'm a terrible wife. Accountability says, I've rejected his attempts at connection enough times that I understand why he stopped trying. One attacks your identity. The other identifies the behavior and gives you somewhere to take the conversation. So stop asking, why doesn't my partner do this anymore? Ask what happened when they did. So I got another journal question for you guys. This one is, what have I taught the person I love to expect from me? And I left that very open because of everything that we've talked about in this document. I want you guys to figure that out on your own. You can put any intention or feeling behind that question. What have I taught the person I love to expect from me? And then a final thought, if we don't like what the relationship has become, we should probably stop staring across the room and waiting for the other person to initiate change. You can't expect people to just do the thing, guys. Earlier in this document, I said, I gotta find it so that I can read it verbatim. I said, this is why you see people go through a crazy, drastic change after a divorce. We're done with the document. I want to talk about that. You guys, everyone knows somebody that got a divorce, and within weeks, you see them and they're different. They feel different. Standing in their presence feels different. Whether they're happy or sad, something about them has fucking drastically changed. They view the world differently. Guys, I understand that some of you may not have saw your marriage ending. You guys knew your marriage was done way before you filed for divorce. That grief and shit that comes afterwards, I truly believe comes more from feeling the loss of the house and the kids and the comfort. It's not about the loss of the relationship. That relationship ended years ago. You guys were just holding on to a hopium. You see people go out, you see them date, you see them do hobbies, and you say, damn, happiness looks good on you. Where was this version of you for the last 15 years? What fucking changed? I'm going to tell you what changed. They removed themselves from an environment that was keeping them from growing. We have expectations of our person, right? We have a belief system that this is who someone is. And when that divorce happens and you see them in public and you see their social medias and they're doing things differently than what they did with you, and you're like, that ain't fucking them. That's why they've changed. That's why they're not the same, because you fucking prevented that change in them. Guys, this happens. We hold our person to an idea of who they are. And if you're together for 20 years, that idea of who they are, if you haven't updated that data and there's not been firmware updates to your relationship, they are going to be trapped in this thing. And every time they try to step out of that thing, you're going to guilt them. You're going to shame them. Who are you? What are you doing? This isn't you. This is weird. And all it takes is that one shitty acknowledgement for them to be like, oh, you're right. Let me step back into my box. Let me get back into, let me fall back into this role. Let me perform, monkey. It's not how that works. Your partner gets excited about something and tries on something new. Maybe they change their wardrobe. You should cheer for that. I don't care if you think it's stupid. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care about you at all in that moment. It's not fucking about you. Your person is evolving. Water that shit. Go to Home Depot and buy some fucking fertilizer and some worm castings and fucking get your hands in the soil. Cultivate who they want to become, because you're going to grow. You're going to evolve. And if you don't grow and evolve together, you will grow and evolve apart. And then when that divorce happens and everybody else gets to talk about how fucking happy they look now that you're not in their life, you did that shit. What you doing, beautiful miss? Yeah? You gonna come sit down and talk to the chat? I can turn the camera on if you want. Oh.
Children are brushing their teeth.
Yeah, good. It's important.
Yes, it is. Hello, chat. Hello.
Let me quick, just to make this easy for Carrie. I'm going to quickly do the video outro. We're going to stay live and talk. Guys, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy this content, share it with somebody that you think might get some value from it. And if you really enjoy this, I will be doing this type of content every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, live from 8:30 until I'm done. So with that being said, guys, enjoy the day. Have a good one. All right. Turn off the cameras. You can interact with the chat, do what you want to do.
Okay. I only came back here to see you because seeing you calms my nervous system.
Yeah, co-regulation.
Yeah.
Love that. What does that say about me as a man to be able to provide that kind of space for you, that you need to come back here and allow me to woo-saw your nervous system? Yes. Winning.
You done, babies? All right. I would like you to go back to your word search. I'll be there in a second.
But what about you? Come help me.
She needs help with sounding out, so she's doing a word search right now.
Yeah.
So it's the word search, but then they only have the numeral for the numbers, so it's not spelled out. So I'm having her sound them out, and she's getting most of them right, but she's like the hidden U and 4 she missed. So if she didn't have that, she wouldn't be able to find it in the word search.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I'm helping her with secret letters.
We talked about pattern recognition on this episode.
Yeah.
Word searches are a great example of pattern recognition, because you're not looking for the word, you're looking for sequences of patterns that make sense for a word.
Yeah.
And when those things stand out to you, you circle them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we find the words. Pattern recognition. That's a great fucking analogy for what I was just talking about in real life.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I can just hear him out there being a nuisance to his sister.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he does.
He takes on a certain voice when he's really trying to be annoying to her.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Thanks to y'all's podcast, I've realized my partner does calm my nervous system, and after years of rejecting it, I realized how much I was withholding.
Yep.
Yeah. The English language is dumb.
It's so fucking stupid.
It really is.
I had her sound out 5, and she was like F, and I. She's like, that's V, and I was like, that's right. She's like, okay, so that's what I'm looking for, and I was like, no. There's an E. She's like, but there's no eh sound. And I was like, I know. Like, I got nothing, kid.
That's funny. What were you going to say before you finished the document? I said it. That was that whole divorce thing. I said what I was going to say. That was it. How do you feel about the statement? Do you want me to leave because I can't live up to your standards? Yes. Yes, I do want you to leave.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I actually didn't say that, but because you did, and you are trying to manipulate my emotions to guilt me into changing the way that I feel about what you did, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll hold the door for you.
I'm really big about yes and no questions. And that was a yes or no question.
Yeah.
Yep. And if that's the kind of conversation you want to boil it down to, and we can't have nuance and gray in between our black and white, I'm not going to pick a fight with you because you're just looking for a fight.
Yeah. People use I'm leaving and we'll get a divorce and they will abuse your abandonment issues to manipulate you, because if you're having a conversation and they feel guilty or bad and they can switch that around on you and make you feel guilty and bad, now they get a reprieve from what they're feeling instead of addressing what actually happened. You guys don't let people manipulate you. That the first time that happens, you pause. That's not on the table. Don't ever fucking do that again. That's not how we're going to conduct ourselves. Give another option of the way that you can move forward with things. And the next time that comes up, recognize that pattern as manipulation. That actually happened with us in the beginning.
Yeah.
You said something like, I don't know why you want me here, or I got to be honest, I don't even remember what you said. I just know that it infuriated the fuck out of me and was like, we are not going to do that.
Yeah.
I absolutely want you here. That's not what we're doing. And we've never done that to each other.
Yep. Someone in the chat said, yeah, the long vowel sound is created by the E at the end.
What's a long vowel? Is it, does it make it a gay one? Like, hey.
You're funny.
Yeah, I'm going to get hate for that. I don't give a fuck. That was funny.
I can't think of an example because I was so focused on the long vowel sound at the end of 5. 5. Five. Right? Now, if we're going with like, if the long E somehow changes the V, then why doesn't vroom sound different than 5? Is it affecting the E?
This is why you homeschool and not me. I'd have just said this is stupid and moved on. That's funny.
Long vowels are when the vowel says its name. Like E. Tree.
Okay. Guys, please don't do this to me. I didn't pay attention in school, and all of this is gonna start fucking with my brain, and I'm gonna get stuck. So, can we change this topic? Like,
okay.
what's everyone's favorite movie? I don't know. What's your favorite Garbage Pail Kid or some shit?
This is my life right now.
Can't.
I am learning along with the children, and if E makes a long vowel sound at the end of 5, that's fucking stupid.
You're going to be so smart by the time they graduate.
Yeah, I am, right? Especially if our kids get into some like crazy science shit.
That's funny.
I might go fuck around and get a PhD in theory. Is that what he does? Sheldon and Leonard?
It's
theoretical
physicist.
Yeah. Fuck around and become a theoretical physicist.
You get his degree, I'll have his autism. It'll be great.
Yeah. You know, I really like Spanish.
Yeah.
Uno. UNO. Dos. DOS. Super easy. French. Even French, like their shit most of the time sounds the way it's spelled. Fuck filet. I will never.
French doesn't sound like it's spelled to me at all.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
That was one that we were trying to learn that I struggled with the most.
Yeah. We're going to be getting into Spanish soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Once we get into the groove and I figure out the children's learning capacities, I think I'm going to add Spanish like 2 or 3 times a week and then try to talk it daily. Both Carrie and Taylor are not fluent in Spanish, but they could hold a conversation.
Wild.
Right? Okay, I'm going to go help the children.
Okay.
Caramel. Do you say caramel?
I do.
Caramel.
I don't say that.
People.
Caramel. But you're also learning, you're talking to somebody who said cement until he was like 30.
Yeah.
Like there's still Southern words that I've had to train out of my vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pick one right now off the top of my head, but every once in a while I will hear people like, you'll see them smirk.
Yeah.
Because of the accent, but I've learned not to do that.
I want your accent.
Yeah, it's...
Learn to do it again.
No. It's gone.
Do it for my womb.
Yeah, I'll do something for your fucking womb, but it won't be speaking.
Oh my God. Pecan. It is a pecan. If it was meant to be caramel, it would not have the A in it. And I feel the same fucking way about salmon. Okay, I'm gonna go help the children.
Okay. Okay.
Bye. Oh, that's a good thing I have a wedgie.
That's funny. Take your dog.
Come on, Ivy.
Got my foot room back. She likes to lay underneath of my feet all the time. Oh man, I don't remember what we were talking about before all that. Holy shit, there's 128 people watching. We are done with the document. I don't have anything else to do. We're only an hour and 27 in. If you guys want to do a little mini Q&A, I could get into another document. I got another document ready that I was going to get into tomorrow. Somebody yesterday said in a live stream, what do I do? How do I get my wife and my kids to respect me and my opinions? And I was like, well, you got to be the type of man that is worthy of respect. Like, that's not something that's just given to you. Like, to be a leader, you have to earn that title. And we wrapped up and we were done, right? Like, I didn't have nothing else to say about it. And I came back here like 15, 20 minutes later to turn everything off because I forgot to turn the TVs off. And there was a fucking comment from the guy that was like, what else am I supposed to do if I work full time and do the house chores? And it fucking sent me. I started sweating. I started getting angry and like, how do you equate those things to being a good man? Bro, I got mad. I went to the post office to try to calm down, came back inside. I was like, I can't fucking believe this. And like, real shit. I know that I have spicy brain because I get hung up on things I really shouldn't get hung up on. Like, a normal person would have laughed at that, rolled their eyes and went about their life. And I was offended. Like, how dare you, sir? I felt like you fucking slapped me with a gauntlet, like challenged me to a fucking duel. It was wild. It was wild the way that impacted my brain. Document. Oh, you motherfuckers want some more content. Only one set of questions in Chris's corner. That was from yesterday. Is syrup or syrup? It's syrup. So much fun with Peach. She comes back here and just disrupts everything. That would be great for me. I'm short need of a footrest. That's funny. Where can we find the rest of the questions from your videos? I post them when I think about it, posting them in the Discord. I got bullied out of my Southern accent and it comes out at random times when I'm relaxed. Same. Yep. My people are from well, the town in Tennessee now isn't that small, but when I was a kid and we lived in Tennessee, we only had like 1,400 people in our town. We had one intersection and the stop sign had stop spray painted on it, like a telephone pole. That was it. We had one school campus that all the kids went to for elementary all the way through high school. It was a very, very small town. And my family are fucking Hicks. And it comes out like that. I had to, moving to Florida and learning how to talk. There's a whole lot of new, kids are cruel. Just move on. Kids are cruel. I was recommended a book by my therapist yesterday, so I recommended the podcast since he's a marriage therapist. Oh, I'm interested to see how that goes. Can't wait to see how that goes. Therapists either really fucking love us or really hate us. We have therapists that we know for a fact hand out our check-ins and tell people to listen to our podcast. We've had a lot of them write in, tell them that, what we're doing is great and blah, 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 blah. And we've never actually had anyone write in that are therapists that I got real shit. I think that if you've gone to the process of becoming a therapist and you don't like something, you've learned to just move on from it. So maybe we'll never hear from them, but yeah. Told him the website too. Number 2. Love that. Number 2. Be better. You guys want that other document? I'll pop that other document open. It just means that I have to do more work later today so that I have something to read tomorrow. I have to turn the cameras back on. Give me 1 second. Let me those are therapists who want to actually help heal people. The other ones aren't. I actually believe that. Is it still manipulation if that is what was said after she said, if you don't like my boundaries, I have set in place, then you can leave? No. Maybe. Can you put that entire thing into one thing so that I can process what you just said? Is it still manipulation if that is what was said after she said, if you don't like my boundaries, you can leave? Do you want me to leave then? Yes. Yes, it's still manipulation. If that's what you're asking me, yes, that's manipulation. Just because you have boundaries doesn't mean that I have to accept them. And just because you have boundaries doesn't mean that I have to be here. If you have an expectation in your life that I don't agree with, I have the freedom to go, this isn't going to work then. Have a great life, and to fucking leave. That's the entire point of setting a boundary. It's so that people have data to understand the way that you expect your life to go. And if they can't maintain in that sphere, then they ain't for you. That's a great, great bit of information. If you can leave if you don't like my boundaries I have in place. They said, you only want me to leave because I can't live up to your standards. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that. If you can't live up to my standards, I don't want you here. I have expectations of my life. Now, this doesn't mean, anyways. Yes. Yes. The answer to that is yes. Let me hit record again. Oh, 130 people here. All right. I have to intro again, so I apologize, guys. This just has to be a quick thing. Welcome back, guys. This was the second part of something that I'm doing today. I actually didn't even end the live stream, but I have just turned all of the cameras and stuff back on to do another document. The chat requested, I provide. We are going to be talking about responsibility, respect, and leadership, and what that looks like to a man. I've done 2 different gentleman episodes that are on the YouTube channel. I believe they've also been posted to Spotify, so you guys can go and search those out if you want to. What it means to be a gentleman, what it means to be a good man. I don't remember what I called it, but basically they're good men leadership videos. This is a document that I created yesterday because we had somebody in one of the live streams say, how do I get my wife and my children to respect me and my opinions? And I was like, well, respect is not given. It's something that's earned. You have to be somebody that is respectable to have respect. And we went about our day, and I came back here, and I just literally just told the chat this, but I came back here and saw something on the TV that said, how do I learn to lead if all I'm doing is working and doing household chores? And if you think that's what leadership is, you've missed the entire fucking point of what it means to be a man. And whoever that was, I felt like you slapped me in the face with a gauntlet. I dwelled on that shit. It made me angry. Like I left the house, went to the P.O. box, came back, had a whole fucking thing because of what you said. And I don't believe that you believe that that's enough. I don't believe that anyone out there believes that simply being an adult is something that is a thing that makes you worthy of somebody else's respect. Gratitude, maybe. Maybe you going to work every day and providing a little bit of finances and making sure the house is clean is cool, and like that's gratitude. Thank you for doing those things. I can fuck with that. But if you're a liar, a cheater, you're abusive, you talk down to your kids, whatever, why would they respect you? Right? So I created a document. I sat down yesterday and went through all of this as I was working through my emotions because you triggered me. There's no other way around it. You fucking said some shit that got underneath my skin like a fucking thorn and it festered for hours. So now you get a document. So this document is called You Want Your Family's Respect. Become a Man Worth Respecting. This may trigger some of you guys in the chat, gentlemen. And if it does, I want you to ask yourself why this triggers you. Before I get into this document, I have two things to say. One, you could just simply have a super disrespectful woman. There are women out here who genuinely fucking hate men and still decide to get into a relationship with them and then destroy that man. That is a thing. And two, maybe your kid followed in her footsteps. And if they did, that means you failed as a parent. Okay. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, a paycheck doesn't automatically make you a man or a leader. Neither does being a husband or a father. Neither does doing the chores. Simply means that you are conducting yourself as an adult, and real shit, some of y'all ain't even doing that. These things that I just listed out describes roles. They describe responsibilities. Leadership describes how you inhabit those traits, what you do, how you conduct yourself while doing those things. So how do you become a more respectable leader in your home? Because the dude said in that second comment, if all I'm doing is working into chores. First, you keep your word. If dad says something's going to happen, does it happen? If you promise your wife that you'll handle something, does she have to fucking tell you 6 times that it needs to get done, or do you do it? If you tell your kids you're coming to their game, do you show up? Reliability creates credibility. Pause for effect. Repeat for effect. Narrate for more effect. That shit's funny to me. Reliability creates credibility. You cannot constantly break promises and then demand that the people take your word seriously. If you are not a man of your word, you cannot be respected or trusted. If you fail to keep your word, you are a liability to your family and not an asset. So number 1, keep your fucking word. Do what you say what you do. Number 2, self-mastery. Self-mastery comes before you try to lead anyone else. I actually think that this should have been number 1, but I thought man of your word first because I believe that as men, we have 2 things, our name and our word. And beyond that, we don't have anything else, especially when it comes to our wife. So this one might be even more important, self-mastery. If everybody has to monitor dad's mood, that's not leadership. If disagreement makes you yell, criticism makes you defensive, if stress makes you cruel, or being challenged makes you intimidating, you're not leading. You are affecting the emotional climate of the home and you're fucking with people's nervous systems. The man who wants authority but cannot govern himself has skipped the first requirement. Speaking of self-mastery, fellas, be honest with yourself. What does your diet look like? What does your physical stature look like? What are you capable of? What does your mental health look like? If these things are fucked up, how would you expect someone else to respect you? You can't even respect yourself. If you are, I'm going to say it, and you guys can get mad about this shit if you want to. I'm currently overweight and I'm doing something about it. If you are overweight, mentally unhinged, if you are not physically capable or physically fit as a man, you are failing those that look up to you. I said what I said. Number 3. Listen when your family disagrees with you. If your definition of respect is they agree with me, you don't want respect, you want compliance. Your wife can respect you and think you're wrong. Your teenager can respect you and still challenge your reasoning. A respected leader does not need agreement to maintain his composure. Number 4, I think, because these aren't numbered. I'm actually just going off of what I think we're at. I think we're at number 4. Make decisions, but gather information. Leadership does not mean that you get to make every decision on your own. It means being willing to carry the responsibility for the decisions while remaining open to other people's information. Ask your wife what she thinks. Listen to what your children have to say when appropriate. Change your mind when someone makes a better argument. Being unwilling to change your mind doesn't make you strong, it makes you stubborn. Next one is stop demanding recognition for your responsibilities. I work all day. So what? Good, right? I guess. I help around the house. Neat. You're describing adulthood. Your wife doesn't owe you submission because you emptied the fucking dishwasher. Your children don't owe you admiration because you paid the mortgage. Those things matter and they should be appreciated, but that's your role as a man. Your responsibilities to your family are never a bargaining chip. The next thing, do difficult things without making everyone else pay for them. Go to work tired, handle pressure, have the uncomfortable conversations, fix the mistake. Admit when you don't know something, ask for help when you need it. Leadership is not pretending that nothing affects you. It's refusing to make your discomfort somebody else's fucking problem. Apologize without losing your authority. Some men are terrified that admitting that they are wrong will make them look weak in front of their wife and children. I think the opposite is usually true. Dad was wrong, Dad was wrong, right? I was wrong. I shouldn't have talked to your mother that way. That's not how I want you to treat people. That's not how you should treat her, right? This is what leadership looks like. Your kid sees accountability. If you spout all this shit and don't do all this shit, you're a hypocrite. The next one of these is treat their mother in a way that you would want your children to imitate. I could do an entire episode on this. I'm not going to. Your children watch the way that you handle frustration. They watch the way that you treat their mother. They watch the way that you show up for work. They watch the way if you work. They watch how you conduct yourself after a long day if you're tired from work. They hear the things that you say. Their behavior is built off of your actions. If you belittle your wife and then complain that your children don't respect you, look at what you've been demonstrating. You need to be the man that your son wants to grow up to become. You need to be the man that your daughter views as a good man because she's going to date men like you. Break. Don't come over here and defend me. I'm good. Go find your mama. She has a responsibility here too, fellas. A mother who constantly mocks, undermines, or humiliates dad in front of the children can absolutely damage the entire family's respect for him. But this is a marital problem that needs addressing. But his answer still isn't everybody needs to respect me. His responsibility is to address his marriage, set appropriate boundaries, and examine his own conduct. Next one of these is know your family. What is your wife worried about right now? What is your son struggling with? Who is your daughter becoming? What's happening at school? What does your wife need from you emotionally? If your only contribution to family leadership is rules, correction, discipline, and money, you're managing your household, not leading. Leadership requires relationships. It requires you to do more than simply be there. This is no duh shit to me. But at one point in my life, I didn't have any of this information. and I didn't have mentors. It took a whole lot of hard lessons to learn this. And when people say things like this dude said in the chat yesterday that fucking trigger this in me, I forget that I had to learn all of these things. Just because this is how I actively live my life now doesn't mean that I was always this man. It means that I was a boy pretending to be a man that didn't learn these things yet, and I needed to. So when I have these conversations and I allow these things to irritate me, it comes from a place of ego, and it's something that I know that I need to work on. I should not expect everyone to know the things that we know. Neither should you. Because something seems like common sense doesn't necessarily mean that somebody's had a life experience that's put them in a position to know the things that you've had to go through to learn. So, humility goes a long way, and it's something that I still need to work on. I'm just saying. Create direction for your family. This is where I think a lot of men confuse provision with leading. Providing answers. How do I keep this family alive is provision. How do I keep this family alive? That looks like provision. Leadership says, what kind of family are we becoming? What are our values? How do we treat each other? What are we teaching our children about work, money, marriage, honesty, responsibility, service, and character? What kind of home are we creating? Doing the thing to keep your family alive is part of the provision. Leadership with provision is all of those other things, and these things can absolutely overlap and align. You just have to be aware of what's happening while you're doing it. Next part of this is protect the emotional climate, not just the physical household. A man might say, I die for my family, while refusing to do all the things that's currently hurting them. You'll take a bullet for them, but you won't put your phone down. Pause for effect. You'll fight an intruder, but you won't work on your temper. You'll work 60 hours to provide, but won't have a 20-minute conversation with your wife because I'm tired. Protection is bigger than physical safety, guys. If you aren't willing to do the hard things, you're not a protector. That's lip service. You're a liar. You're willing to do the easy thing. Somebody shoots you, you can't do anything about that. You take a bullet for your wife. Yeah, you're going to say that because it's real fucking easy to say that knowing that nobody's standing there in front of a gun or in front of you with a weapon. You know the amount of men who'd be like, oh, you ain't going to talk to my wife that way until somebody does in public and then they fucking bitch up. Like, lip service, guys. It's lip service. Be willing to be unpopular. Leadership isn't keeping everyone happy. Sometimes dad needs to say no. Sometimes your teenager will think you're an asshole. Sometimes your wife won't agree with you. You can hold a boundary without becoming controlling. You can enforce consequences without humiliation. You can tolerate somebody being disappointed in you without becoming angry enough to force them back into agreement, right? Next part of this is be competent. You don't have to know how to do everything, but you should be capable of figuring shit out. Excuse me. Can you solve problems without becoming immediately overwhelmed? Can you manage money? Can you make an appointment? Can you cook a meal? Can you handle the kids alone? Research something that you don't understand? Navigate an emergency from a place of calm? Competence creates confidence. Competence creates confidence. It also creates confidence in you with the people around you in the way that you conduct yourself. Your family should be able to think dad doesn't always know the answer, but that motherfucker will figure it out. Your wife should be able to be like, my husband's got me. I don't have to worry about this. If you're a man and your wife can say that shit, you're motherfucking Superman. There is nothing that's going to prevent you from failing your tasks. Learned helplessness is not leadership. People like to throw around the word weaponized incompetence. I couldn't remember what it was. All the fucking time. And that shit infuriates me. Learned helplessness infuriates me even more. You guys really don't like it when I call people pathetic. I've heard that. I've heard people be like, I know what you're saying, but using that term bothers me. I have actually learned that calling people a cunt does not impact them the same way as calling them pathetic. Learned helplessness is pathetic. Next one is don't confuse fear with respect. Your kids being afraid to challenge you is not respect. Your wife going quiet because she knows a disagreement will become a 3-hour fucking ordeal is not respect. Everyone behaving differently when dad enters the room is not respect. That's anxiety. It's fear. It's control. It's you forcing compliance. This is why people confuse control with leadership. Respect becomes clearest when people feel free to disagree with you, but still value your judgment and opinion. Next one, I actually just said that this is something I'm working on. Develop some fucking humility. A leader should be teachable. I don't know everything. I will not say I don't know. I will say I don't have that information. Let me get back to you. Your wife will know things that you don't. Your children will eventually know things that you don't. Sometimes the youngest person in the room is going to expose a blind spot to the oldest. I really don't like I don't know and I can't. Those two phrases infuriate the fucking life out of me. You can. You just don't know how yet. I don't know. That's okay. Go figure it out. I don't have that information yet. I prefer that over I don't know because you added that yet. It means that it's indicative that you are going to go do that thing. You're going to learn about it. Teach me. I don't have that information. I'd love to know it. Fill me in. Give me the scoop. Give me the dirt. Let's go. I'm a sponge. So much different, right? Those sentences do not weaken a competent man. They demonstrate that his ego is not in charge. All right. The next one is have difficult conversations early. Don't avoid something for 6 months, become resentful, then explode and call it leadership. Address the problems while they're manageable. Talk about money before you're drowning. Talk about sex before your roommates. Talk about parenting before disagreements become you undermining each other. Talk about disrespect before contempt takes over your marriage. Leadership doesn't manufacture conflict, but it doesn't hide from necessary conflict either. I need another drink. Getting thirsty, guys. I'm talking a lot. Next one is don't make your family responsible for your self-worth. This actually really speaks to the man who sparked this entire document. If you desperately need your wife and your children to respect you so that you can feel like a man, you're putting them in charge of your identity. That's backwards, right? You need to build a character that you respect. Live according to the values that you've decided are going to be your core values and your non-negotiables. Become competent, keep your word, take care of yourself, and serve your family. Then let their opinion be information as to whether or not you are successful in those things. But do not source your sense of self-worth from them. The man constantly demanding respect is often revealing how unsure he is that he deserves it. Guys, do you know your core values and non-negotiables? This is something that I have all of the men do when they join the men's group. This is like a requirement to work with me. You have to determine your core values. Should have 5, 3, 5, 7, 10, doesn't really matter. At minimum, I would say a 5. 3 is too little. It means you didn't put enough effort in. I personally have 7 because it's a God number. I prefer that. And then you need to know your non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables are your boundaries. Ladies, just because I have men do this doesn't mean that you shouldn't do this. When you guys break up with somebody and you're going through all of your heartbreak and all of the things that you realize that you gave up for somebody else, you need to write out your non-negotiables. These are the things that you will never accept from another human being, things that you will never again accept from yourself, whatever that looks like. If you don't know your core values and you don't know your non-negotiables, you are moving with the current of life. You are getting along to get along. You have no structure of who you are. Yep. Next one is know when to shut the fuck up and serve. Leadership isn't always giving direction. Sometimes your wife has had a horrible day and leadership is making dinner without announcing how great of a husband you are because you cooked. Sometimes your kid fucked up and doesn't need a lecture. They need dad to sit beside them while they figure out what they're going to do next. Sometimes nobody needs your wisdom. They need your presence. If every situation becomes an opportunity for you to teach everyone something, you are going to become exhausting. Make your family better without making them feel smaller is the next one. A good leader challenges people. He holds standards and he corrects behavior, but he does not use humiliation to do it. Your son should leave a correction thinking dad expects more from me because he believes I'm capable, not I'm a piece of shit. Your wife should be able to hear a concern without feeling like she's being disciplined by her husband. Leadership develops people, guys. Leadership develops people. Leadership makes more leaders. Domination diminishes them. The next one is build a life outside of being needed. Have a purpose. Men, you need to have a purpose. When we don't have purpose, we get sick and we die. I believe that with every fiber of my being. When you no longer have a purpose, something's going to happen and you will perish. Have friendships, have interests, keep learning. Be a student of life. Have something that you are constantly building on. Your wife and children should never have to provide your identity. A man without purpose can start trying to manufacture importance through control at home. He needs everyone to need him because he doesn't know who he is if they don't. That's especially dangerous as children become teenagers and start needing dad differently. If you guys need to play that back and hear that again, fine, but I'm going to move on to the next one. Give your family the best of you sometimes, not just what's left of you. Give your family what's best of you sometimes, not just what's left of you. Providing for your family while giving everyone at work your patience, humor, discipline, attention, emotional control, and then coming home and dumping whatever remains onto your wife and kids isn't the same thing that men think it is. Your public persona and your home persona shouldn't be a thing. Shouldn't look like that, guys. Your career shouldn't consistently get the most disciplined version of you while your family gets the exhausted asshole. There are reasons. They are the reason that you're supposedly doing all of this. They should occasionally experience the same man that everyone else gets. I had to word it that way because I want you guys to hear how that sounds. If you go and give, this is the same argument that we have with traditional wives. The women who go, I don't want to submit to a man, and yet goes to work and submits to a man, goes to work and does all the things that her boss or, tells her to do, whether her boss is male or female, she's submitting to somebody else. You're selling your time, you're selling your efforts, you're doing things that don't benefit your family. Men, if you were the provider and you were doing the exact same thing because that's what's expected of us, but you go to work and give all of your goodness to a company, to the people that you work with, and come home and give the ugliest version of yourself to your family, you're not a man. You're an abuser. You're a fucking fraud. Next part of this is have standards that you actually live by. Don't demand discipline from your children while having none yourself. Don't demand honesty while lying. Don't demand respect for their mother while speaking disrespectfully to or about her. Don't lecture everyone about their phones while staring at yours all night long. Don't preach responsibility while blaming everyone else when something in your life goes wrong. Children have an incredible bullshit detector. They eventually notice the difference between the values dad talks about and the way dad lives his life. So how do you become a leader when I'm busy working and doing household chores? Brother, that's where leadership happens. What better time to teach your son or your daughter how to be a good person while doing the things that you have an opportunity to embody those things? Your wife creates a honey-do list. Babe, I'll get it to Saturday at noon. Saturday at 11:30, you need to get your shoes on and be outside already doing that thing so that when 12 o'clock comes, you're a man of your word. Kids see that shit. Wife sees that shit. Husband's got me, right? How do you act when you're exhausted? How do you speak when you're frustrated? How do you do the chore? Do you do the chore half-assed because you resent having to do it? Do you complain constantly about everything that you provide? Do you notice your wife's workload also? Do your children see you contributing because that's what family members do, or do they hear you reminding everyone else how much you fucking do for them? Leadership isn't something that you squeeze in after the dishes. The dishes are the leadership. Going to work is leadership. How you come home from work is leadership. Apologizing is leadership. How you handle conflict is leadership. Keeping promises, listening, setting boundaries, playing with your children, loving their mother, handling disappointment, that's leadership. Leadership is the ordinary moments where your family decides who the fuck you are. So, in case the guy that was live yesterday hears this, stop asking, why doesn't my family respect me? And instead ask, you guys can journal about this if you want. There's 4 questions here. If I were my wife, would I be proud to be married to me? If I were my son, what would I want him to imitate? Because that should be you, right? You should be a hero to your sons. If I were my daughter, what would my behavior teach her to expect from a man? And when my family thinks of my leadership, do they think of my authority or my example? Guys, you can't demand the answers that you want. You can't. And if they give them to you because you want them, they're doing it out of fear and control. It's falsehood. You're a fraud. They're afraid of you. But you can become increasingly responsible for the man they're answering about. And that's where your leadership comes in. That's the end of my document. You guys want those questions again? Want me to read them again? My nose is itching. I can hear the kids out there giggling. Yep. So if I were my wife, would I be proud to be married to me? That was question 1. Question 2 is, if I were my son, what would I want to imitate? What would I want him to imitate? Like, right? Because yeah. If I were my daughter, what would my behavior teach her to expect from a man? Fucking Tegan in the chat's crushing it. And then the final question was, when my family thinks of my leadership, do they think of my authority or my example? I'm glad you guys appreciate my documents. Shout out to Ditto Scrub for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that we're getting viewers. Subscribers. Yep. I put a lot of thought into these documents, guys. I do my best work while microdosing. But I do try to get a document done every day, even if it takes me all day to do it and I have to keep coming back to it. And sometimes these are very effortless. There are days where I get through an entire document in 45 minutes and days that it takes me 5 hours, but I am putting the work in to try to provide you guys with something that you're not getting. And I am glad that you guys are actually here to listen. It makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time. Chris, seeing who you are now, how you interact with your family, and the content you put out, all this makes me so fucking excited to be a dad in the future. I love that, dude. Don't do what I do what I say, but you need to lead by example. Absolutely. When my family thinks of leadership, do they think of my authority or my example? Yeah, that was the last one. I always speak to my son the way I want his future wife to speak to him, so he learns how to be spoken to. These documents are meant. Thank you for that. 123 people here. Guys, if you haven't liked the video yet, please like it and share it to your social media. I do plan on doing these lives 4 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And I may do something special on Wednesday for Patreon every week, just so that, you know, there's extra content that they're paying for. But sharing the content and making sure that people see what we're doing is going to be the thing that keeps us doing what we're doing. So you guys got anything you want to talk about? Because if not, I'm gonna wrap up. Any questions, anything that you want to address or whatever? What if you work all day, then come home and clean up for everyone daily, yet the other adult was home all day playing games instead of helping? Scenario. So that speaks to a workless person. And that's a conversation in itself, right? Like I personally would never be with somebody like that. If you are a motivated, driven person and you are with somebody who lacks ambition, that marriage is not going to work. Do not marry people that are not compatible with you. Speaking a life of servitude, if you work all day and come home and you clean and cook and do all the things and your person does nothing, is it really your partner or is it your child, right? Because you are living as their parent treated them. That, I mean, I wouldn't tolerate that. I would have conversations about, look, these are the things I do. If you're going to be home all day and you want to game, that's totally fine. Do that. But here's everything that I need done before you get to the game. And if I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I expect you to real shit. If for some reason Peaches had to work a normal job, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, whatever, and she was the breadwinner, she would never cook. She would have breakfast made when she got out of bed. If she had to get up to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, I would get up at 3. I would make sure that by the time she was ready to leave for work, she had a healthy breakfast, free range eggs, no meats, a good carbohydrate, complex carb, right? Not starchy, complex. I want like sweet potatoes or cream of rice. I want something that's going to sustain her energy until lunchtime, and her lunch would be made. I would make sure that my family is supported in a different way, because provision is not just financial. I know that men believe that that's enough. It's not. But I would do all of those things. And when she left for work, I would do all of my chores. And if I got tired afterwards, I'd go back to sleep after my workload was done. And if I wanted to play video games, I would play video games until I knew that I needed to start making dinner. And I would fucking make that dinner, because I'm not going to be a dependent on somebody. If I am not capable of working or I am out of work for whatever reason, I am a fucking asset to everyone in my household. Laundry's getting done. Dishes are taken care of. The fucking house is clean. I'm not doing shit until all of my expectations are taken care of. If you have a partner that's not willing to do these things, you don't have a partner. That word partner is supposed to mean something. Man, I hate a workless person. I don't think you guys understand how much it pisses me off when people don't contribute. Like, I have such a high expectations of the people around me that a lazy person that has no ambition can't be around me. Nope. Nope. No. Bree said, y'all who gain from these, Patreon gets them often. Chris's Peaches documents are bangers. Yep, Peaches stuff will always be released to Patreon too. She does do them. Not as frequent as I do, but she does them. Rose Thorn said, we appreciate these. Husby and I have gone over the 10 questions. We'll do yesterday's tonight. I love that. I've been here since the beginning of seeing you guys on TikTok well over a year ago, and I love seeing how many people are here now. Yep. My soon-to-be husband works extremely hard almost every day, so I make sure most of the household chores are done. And my bonus child is taken care of, and he has helped me see the value on that. Yep. Chris, do you feel the same way about stay-at-home mothers? Same way as what? I don't understand how gender has a play in that. If you're a stay-at-home and somebody else is supporting you, how would that look any different? The no respect part because they don't work. I never said a stay-at-home mother doesn't work. I think that there is no greater honor a parent can bestow a family than taking care of their children. Ever. Putting real shit, if you have the financial resources to do the stay-at-home thing and you choose to put your kid in daycare and allow somebody else that makes a minimum wage to raise your children and then put them in the public school system so that somebody else can instill their values and their belief system in your children, I have a real big disrespect for you guys. Real big disrespect. I don't give a fuck if you're chasing a career. If you want to be a career person, don't fucking have kids. You have a duty to your children to be the fucking example of what it means to be a parent. And for stay-at-homes that do the stay-at-home mom thing or stay-at-home dad thing, there is no honor that I can bestow above you other than my gratitude. That's all there is to that shit. And I don't think it's harder to be a stay-at-home mom or harder to be a stay-at-home dad. I think the person that goes out into the workforce has the harder job. They miss first steps. They miss the first words. They miss all of the cute little moments. They miss the bonding. They miss the tummy time. They sacrifice their fucking time away from their family to bring things in the door. I don't care if I'm cleaning up shit. I don't care if you puke in my fucking mouth. I don't care if you're farting and stinking and colicky and crying all fucking day. I'm your parent. It is my duty to make sure that you are taken care of, loved, and like, there is no greater honor than that. None, period. So there's never a moment where you will ever hear me say that I have no respect for a stay-at-home parent, ever. I think that is the most honorable fucking thing you can do. And real shit to the men and women who are working a job 80 hours a week so that your partner can be the stay-at-home to provide that shit for your family. Fucking kudos to you. All of the respect. I'm proud of you. You're the motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what your gender is. You have somebody at home that is lovingly taking care of your family because of your sacrifice. Fucking kudos to you. Those things are not... Those are not the same thing. We are not having the same conversation. A motherfucker that stays at home, plays video games all day, drinks, neglects his kids, neglects his wife. She neglects him, doesn't clean the fucking house. Y'all are scum to me. Super chat. Holy shit. You know what? I meant to say that earlier in the thing. If you guys want to interrupt your shit, interrupt me and want me to acknowledge you to leave super chats, and I forgot. Hubris said, being a role model to our kids is almost a given. When you say 15 to 25 was some of your worst years, and after the story you told us yesterday about 7th grade, did younger Chris ever think he'd be a positive role model to men? Bro, what a question. There was a time in my life that I was so afraid to go in public. I have to wait. I can't say what I'm about to say to my kid right there. I'm going to backpedal a little bit. When we go out in public, I have trained my wife for very specific things. I have a hypervigilance about me. I have to have my back to a wall. I have to know where the exits are. I have to go to the bathroom to see what the bathrooms are looking like. There are things that I have had to do for my survival that are still ingrained in who I am. When I pump my gas, my phone is in my pocket. My hand is not on the gas pump. I'm walking around my vehicle. I'm looking before I get into my vehicle, and I pump from the time I put the pump away to the time I open the door, you guys see me looking like a drug dealer. I'm checking the surroundings of my vehicle. These things are so habitually ingrained in me because of the life that I lived. And I preface that so that when I tell you that I believed that somebody would slit my throat in a public setting for probably the 15 to 30, I truly believed that I was going to be murdered because of the life that I lived. I expected it. So to know who I was then to who I am now, it makes sense that I'm mentoring men because of the life that I've lived, but I did not expect to get here. And that's my answer to your question. And that's the honest answer to your question. It's why I don't want Peaches pumping her own gas. It's why I don't want her getting out of the car at the gas station unless she's got to go to the bathroom. It's why if she's by herself and she's got to pee really bad, we go inside the store together. And then I pump the gas while she's back in the car with the doors locked. When you have lived the life that I have lived, it changes the way that you view things. It's why we take our security so seriously. It's why even though we are doing things that we believe are helping people, we take the death threats that we have received very seriously. Like, this is not, I don't know. Life is what life is, I guess. What you doing, Beautimus? You want me to call it? It's back here. It's right here. We have to do a Patreon live today.
Okay. It's gonna have to be after my hair appointment.
That's fine. For those of you who are members of Patreon, do not forget that we will be doing a live stream for Patreon this evening. It'll be after her hair appointment, and when the kids have gone home, we'll be doing one at night tonight for those of you who are on the West Coast that miss these early morning things. But we will be going live tonight. So for Patreon. That's a great answer. Appreciate you. You're welcome. My man walks me in and stays by the restroom door until I'm done. I do the same thing for Peaches. And I get dirty looks sometimes. Like, I understand. I know what I look like. I see myself in the mirror every day. I look like a fucking criminal. I get it. And I know that it makes people uncomfortable when, like, especially women, when they're coming out of the bathroom and I'm standing within 15 foot of the bathroom door in direct line of sight. But if I see a man go into the bathroom and my wife isn't there, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. So, like, this is not one of those moments where I'm trying to make other people uncomfortable, and I know that it does, but their discomfort does not remove my need to protect my woman. Just all there is to that. So Chris, I feel that with the ex being a content creator, the amount of hypervigilance and time we weren't in the house or car was insane. Yeah, it's bad. And you never know. You never know. Like, we hit a Buc-ee's one time, and like, dude saw me in the bathroom and freaked the fuck out. Like, I had just got done peeing, and had he seen me while I was peeing and I had my dick in my hand, I'm in a very vulnerable moment, right? Like, there's a whole lot of fear there. And like, I have to navigate all of that as well. You never know the type of response that you're going to get from somebody either. Like, you don't know if they're a deranged lunatic that fucking hates your guts or if they're going to be appreciative for the content. Like, I don't know. It's wild. It's fucking wild. Yep. Yep. It's wild. It's been a long live stream. Really appreciate that super chat. I really should have fucking been like, guys, if you want to say something or want me to interrupt the podcast, leave a super chat. I fucking forgot. We had someone try to follow us home from an event a couple years back, pedal through the fucking floor till the car hit 160 for a couple miles. Not me. I'm fucking pulling over and sticking a gun through somebody's window. Or I'm pulling them out their window. Like, man, I don't know. My husband saw your video the other day that said, if I told you to get in the house, my husband side-eyed me and said, what? I would. He said, you're nosy. I did say it's about tone. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That video's got over 1 million views on Instagram. Like, that's one of the best videos that I posted to Instagram in a hot minute. I posted one today to TikTok that should probably be on Instagram now about men who were being recorded while their woman was loving on them. Like, they were laying on them, blowing raspberries and being kids and shit and like being cute. And the moment they realized they were being recorded, they'd like tried to man up and be like, oh, you got to delete that shit. Ugh. I don't understand how that's a thing. Like, I really don't understand how that's a thing. My wife gets a version of me that is hers alone. And if she wants to show that to the world, I'm not ashamed of that. Like, crazy. I would cry if I saw you guys. It happens. It happens. People cry all the time when they meet us. The first time it happened, it was really fucking weird. It made me feel like, oh my God, what's happening? Now when it happens, like, I think because it's happened so much, it's, wow, that almost sounds arrogant. It's still very much appreciated. Like, we understand that. But it's a different visceral response from us now than what it was in the beginning. I think it's more appreciative. Just saying thank you and giving my support. Thank you for the super chat. Aubrey Christine, I appreciate that. I would cry also. You guys are going to meet us one day. You guys stay in the community long enough. Eventually you'll be able to come to a barbecue and shit. I was proud of myself for not crying until the seminars at the April retreat. LOL. Not crying until the okay. I mean, it happens. Seminars gonna make you guys cry. There's a whole lot of healing that happens when Peaches gets into her fucking books, man. Is this going to be on Spotify? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, probably, but not for a couple of weeks. I know that we have a lot of things that we want to do in 2027. Ladies, if you want to go and spend a weekend with my wife, there's still opportunities for November. There's 2 private rooms that you can share with a person so that it helps with the price. And there's 2 bunks that are available. And I think the party room might have a better 2 available, but there's still opportunities for you guys to go to her women's woo-woo retreat in November. There's a lot that she's planning on doing with that cord cutting ceremony, screaming in the woods, dancing around a fire, like to just be able to vibe with my wife for a weekend. Some of y'all really need that shit. Y'all need that type of access and healing and community. I would highly recommend that you check that out. ToBetter.com. Click on retreats and then women's retreats. It's in Fletcher, North Carolina in November. Yeah. Thank you out loud, even though you can't hear me. I appreciate it. A lot of tears were shed that weekend. So needed. Can't wait for next year. We had talked about starting to do 2027 schedule. And I think that we're going to end up doing a quarterly women's retreat. And then a biannually, like two couples retreats next year. And that's it. And, I still am vehemently not going to do a men's retreat, but I am currently open to the idea of inviting men to come and spend a weekend with me to just be there the way that she's doing the women's thing, just not as a woo retreat, just men coming together and spending a weekend together where I'm not obligated to perform. I can be there to answer questions and do the thing, but not where I have to prepare binders and fucking figure out food and just kind of come and exist with me for a weekend. The problem with that is those Airbnbs are expensive and I don't know how to sell that if I'm not working. Just charging for the room makes sense, especially if I can cover enough to cover the Airbnb and my travel. But you got to take in the cost of food and like, how do you charge for something if you're technically not working? I don't know. I don't know. Told hubby about you wanting to do bro hangouts, why the wives do the retreats. He liked the idea, takes the pressure off, but gives an opportunity to connect. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like it totally fucking makes sense to me. Hugging Peaches would absolutely heal my soul. It's on my list to try to get to something eventually. Her hugs are phenomenal. I know I get them every day. She's got some real fucking healer woo woo shit going on with her. Yep. 100 people, 30 people dropped out of here after we were done with the document. Hubby and I want to go to a couples retreat and would love to go to another women's retreat. I hope Peach has another woo woo because I'd love to go to that one as well. She'll probably be doing something next year. Shoot guns, play D&D, chill sounds fun. I don't know if we'll be going to the range, but there's a safety concern in that for me. Even if I'm armed, being around other people who are armed and possibly intentionally trying to harm somebody, there's a concern there. Baby, do any day. Congrats. Make a life skill event, maybe. I don't know, maybe. Y'all help me from checking out on life. We've actually heard quite a few people say that we have pushed them past their expiration date, for a lack of a better term, and that's always a wild thing to hear. You guys don't realize how much impact you have on the people around you, and like as content creators, you do have a responsibility to like not be a scumbag, right? Yeah. Yep. Shailene, are you going to the women's retreat or to the woo woo retreat? God, I can't say that word. The spiritual retreat in November. Which one are you going to? Both of them will have different things that you'll gain from them, but I don't know. I'm on the $15 tier. Can you join the Discord? Or you'd have to go to the $20 tier to be able to get your partner to have access to the Discord. But it actually gives them access to the full Patreon now and not just the Discord. So we're 2.5 hours in. I actually am realizing now that I have to piss like you can't believe. And we're down to 100 people. So people are starting to dip out. I'm going to wrap up. Guys, we will be back later tonight for a Patreon live stream. If you're a member of Patreon, make sure you have your @everyone tags on or your emails on for Patreon. And see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. if I don't see you on Patreon. Have a good day, guys.